What's up, guys? I'm at Resorts World playing 1-3 with my friends. Cheers.
With the guy Brantzen, who has the Brantzen poker logs.
No! Let's go! Let's go!
Tell him he's got a lot of class, and it's all low.
So, we're playing 1-3 with a bunch of poker vloggers and content creators. I'm in for $400, and I pick up King, Queen of Hearts in the big blind. The cutoff opens to $15. The button, Greg goes all in, 3 bets to 45. Now, I don't love this spot facing a 3-bet, but we are only playing with 5 people right now, and the fact that we're all content creators means that good old Mr. Memes over here might be trying to pull a fast one. Whee! I call, and we're heads up to a flop of 5-4-5, just absolute garbage. They're all black too. I got nothing, so when Greg bets $25, I want nothing more to do with it, and I fold. But then the very next hand, I pick up pocket tens in the small blind. Greg opens to $10 from the cutoff. Sashimi's on the button. She just grabs a handful of chips and throws them in the middle.
What is that?
Okay, so it's $50 now. I once again cold call the 3-bet, which is something I rarely do, but somehow I've just done it 2 hands in a row. Anyway, Greg calls 2. We're 3 ways to a flop of 3-7-5 2 diamonds. I check to the pre-flop aggressor, Greg checks, and Sashimi, well, she just pushes her entire strange mound of chips. She just pushes them all into the middle, and I have tens and overpair. I think I have Greg beat because he probably would have 4-bet with a bigger pocket pair than mine. Sashimi, though, is a wild card. She could be doing this with a number of things, and if she has me, she has me, I guess. I'm all in for $280 and Greg.
Oh, you mean twice.
Okay, twice.
Twice. I only have a second. The jacks are good.
She flips over ace-7 off, and I take down a pretty big one. People often talk about the moments that define their poker career. Well, here's one. I have 10 deuce. I forgot to show the camera, but I have 10 deuce. I open to $15 from the hijack, and only Sashimi calls from the big blind. Flop is 7-8 deuce. Sashimi checks. This board should be better for her range than mine. I check back. Turn 10. Here we go. Here is my chance to pay homage to one of the greatest poker players of all time, Doyle Brunson. 10 deuce was his favorite hand, and we just turned 2 pair with it. Sashimi checks, and I bet a cool $20. She calls. The river is an ace. Sashimi checks again. I think about what to do. I think a small bet here might induce a wild player like Sashimi to raise, so that's exactly what I do. I place the bait $25, and she chomps at the bit. She makes it $120. I call, and she shows ace-8. No! She has a better 2 pair. I'm sorry, Doyle. I lost. Okay, so that one hurt, but moving on, I pick up 4-7 of diamonds on the button. I'm playing wider ranges since I'm playing lower stakes. I'm trying to battle with friends. I open to $15. The small blind, a streamer by the name of Nick Eastwood, makes the call, which is a bit fishy as the small blind should mostly be playing a 3-bet or fold strategy against a button open. Right away, I'm thinking he might have a small pocket pair, maybe a suited connector. Anyway, we're heads up to a flop of 3-5-7 rainbow. About the best flop I could ask for, having top pair, a gut shot, and a backdoor flush draw. So when Nick checks, I start with a c-bet of $10. Well, Nick raises to $52. He might have a set, he might have a pair plus draw, he might have a 7 overpair. I don't know exactly, but I can't fold yet. I make the call, and the turn is the 10 of diamonds. So now I have a flush draw as well. I'm hoping Nick slows down, but he doesn't. He bets $101, and with this much aggression, with the check raise on the flop and continuing to bet on this turn, I'm pretty much putting him on a set now. However, I could still hit my flush. I could still hit my straight. I call again, and the river is a 7. I have trips now, but Nick does not slow down. He goes all in for my remaining $285, and this is a painful. I have trips, but somehow I just don't think I'm good. I think he's got a full house, or at the very least, a better 7. And I fold face up. I told him I thought he had pocket 3s, which was my top guess given all the information. And later in the night, he did confirm that he in fact had pocket threes on the dot, so I'll take it, and it is a win in my book, even though I lost the hand. I take down some small pots, and a bit later, I pick up Ace King of Diamonds in the cutoff. Sashimi opens from the hijack to $10. I'm definitely putting in that 3-bet. I make it $35, and Sashimi calls. Heads up to a flop of Ace 10-8, 2 spades and a diamond. Sashimi checks, and I put out a third pot C-bet of $25. She calls. Turn is the 7 of diamonds, giving me a flush draw to go along with my top pair, and she checks again. My standard move would be to continue betting, but Sashimi can go crazy, and I want to give her some rope. I check, hoping she'll blast the river, and if it's a diamond, ace, or king, I can go over the top and rip it in. However, the river is the 4 of hearts, and Sashimi checks. I think she has a hand that has some showdown value, like a pocket pair, or a 10, or an 8. So targeting those hands, I bet $75. She pretty quickly makes the call, I show, and I'm good. Next, I get Ace King again, this time in the hijack. Sashimi opens from the low jack to $10. I 3-bet to $30. Slow poker cold calls from the small blind, which is very concerning to me. Sashimi calls, and we're 3 ways to a flop of deuce 3-3 rainbow. Slow checks, Sashimi checks. I don't like bluffing multi-way, and when slow poker cold calls my 3-bet, I'm thinking he might have a pocket pair between 8s and jacks. I check, and we're all off to a turn, which comes a 3, and slow checks again. Okay, maybe he doesn't have a pocket pair? Then Sashimi bets $50. I don't know, it's Sashimi. She's definitely capable of bluffing, and both slow poker and I have shown a ton of weakness. I doubt anyone has a 3, so she might have a pocket pair, or I might honestly be ahead. I decide to call, keep Sashimi honest, but slow poker does not fold right away. He's tanking. So, I guess he does have a pocket pair like 8s or 9s. But eventually he makes the fold, which I'm very happy about. He was definitely ahead of me. The question is, am I ahead of Sashimi? The river comes a 10, she checks, I check back, and she shows ace deuce. She took me to Value Town, and poor slow poker over there folded the best hand. Alright, now I have 6s on the button, and slow poker opens to $10 from under the gun. He's a tight player, so his under the gun range should be quite strong here, but I still make the call to set mine, and we're heads up to a flop of ace 6-8 rainbow. We hit the set. He starts off with a c-bet of $10, and I think about what to do. If I raise, I think it's going to look really strong. There really aren't many draws on this board, and it should heavily favor his range. So I just make the call, and the turn is a jack. He slows down and checks. Not what I wanted to see. So now I have to start betting, get money into this pot. I bet $25. Slow poker calls. The river is a 3, not changing anything. He checks again to me, and this time I go bigger. I bet $85. He goes into the tank for a good minute and a half. I'm thinking, please call, please call. But he ends up folding, and it is what it is. Moving on to one of the last hands of the night, and I pick up ace 10 off in the hijack. I open to $15, and only the big blind calls. Flop comes out jack, jack, queen, and on a paired board, I often make a small c-bet. So after the big blind checks, I bet $10, and he calls. Well, hoping for a king to complete my gut shot, but the turn is an ace. Now my opponent checks, and I could definitely have the best hand with a pair of aces, but I don't know if betting is the best move. I don't know if many worse hands will call, and he could still be slow playing a jack, so I check back, and the river is a 7. I'm just hoping to reach showdown, but he bets $40, and this kind of sucks.
Why do you have so many good hands all the time? What is this? Some garbage.
This player has been winning a ton of pots, and he's had a lot of hands, but maybe he's going for a bluff this time. Maybe we're chopping against another ace. Time to stand up to him. I make the call, and he shows jack queen for a flopped full house. That's embarrassing. Anyway, it's like 2 a.m. Time to go home soon, so I rack up and cash out.
Played against a bunch of my friends, and Won $34. Okay, not terrible. Later.